I'm glad you're here, because today's conversation might just shift something deep inside you. See, there's a quiet strength in intelligent men. It's not loud, it doesn't need a podium, and it definitely doesn't come from having all the answers. No, true intelligence, especially through the lens of Stoic philosophy, isn't about what you say, it's about what you don't say. There are certain phrases that, once spoken, do more damage than good. They don't just reflect how you see the world, they reflect how you see yourself. And the wisest men, those guided by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they've trained themselves to cut these things out of their vocabulary, not because they're flawless, but because they've seen what these words cost. So today, we're exploring 10 things an intelligent man never says, and why. If you want to live with discipline, clarity, and strength, you might want to stop saying them too. Let's get into it. 1. I don't have time. This one's common, almost respectable. But beneath it, there's a lie. When Epictetus warned, people are frugal in guarding their property, but when it comes to wasting time, they are most extravagant. He wasn't criticizing our calendars. He was pointing to our priorities. An intelligent man knows time is the one resource you never get back. When you say, I don't have time, what you're really saying is, it's not a priority. We all get the same 24 hours. The difference isn't in how much time we have. It's in how we use it. The Stoics believed in living urgently, not recklessly, but with intention. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Every time you say you don't have time, stop, ask, what am I choosing instead? Intelligent men don't blame the clock. They own their decisions. 2. I can't help it. That's just how I feel. You're angry, frustrated, jealous. That's okay. But what's not okay, what the Stoics warn against, is becoming those emotions. Epictetus taught, we are not disturbed by events, but by our opinion about them. What you feel is one thing. What you do with that feeling, that's who you are. An intelligent man never justifies bad behavior with emotion. He doesn't say, that's just how I feel, because he knows feelings are temporary. Your reaction? That leaves a permanent mark. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are what you choose in the moment that those emotions arise. That's Stoic mastery, and that's real strength. 3. That's just who I am. This phrase is the graveyard of growth. When a man says, that's just who I am, what he's really saying is, I've stopped trying to become better. That's not wisdom. That's resignation. The Stoics were ruthless with themselves about personal responsibility. Marcus Aurelius journaled every night, not to celebrate how wise he already was, but to correct the parts of himself that were still flawed. Growth, for them, was a daily practice, never finished. An intelligent man understands this. You are not fixed. You are becoming. Every decision you make, every habit you feed or break, is a vote for the man you'll become tomorrow. Don't settle for a label. Rewrite your story. For, that's not my fault. Here's one that feels innocent, but it's poison. That's not my fault. It might even be true, but the Stoics would ask, so what? Seneca wrote, it is not the man who is too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. In the same way, it is not about who caused the problem, but who is willing to rise to fix it. When you say, that's not my fault, you're handing your power away. You're waiting for someone else to change so your life can improve. But when you say, I'll take responsibility anyway, you reclaim control. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become a force in the world. Intelligent men don't argue about fault. They ask, what can I do now? 5. That's impossible. Every time a man says, that's impossible, he shrinks. But most of what we call impossible isn't physics. It's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of discomfort. Fear of trying and not being enough. Marcus Aurelius didn't talk about impossible. He talked about obstacles. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes a way. Intelligent men understand. What feels impossible is often just what you haven't done yet. So instead of labeling something impossible, ask, what's the next small step I can take? That's not optimism. That's Stoic action. 6. I'll do it later. There is no later. There's only now or not at all. The phrase, I'll do it later, is where dreams die and regret grows. The Stoics didn't believe in procrastination because they knew how short life really is. Seneca put it best, while we wait for life, life passes. I once knew a man who always said he'd take his son camping later, when work slowed down, when things settled. But time doesn't wait. The boy grew up, and the trip never happened. An intelligent man doesn't wait for perfect timing. He moves now, he acts today, because later often becomes never. 7. I don't need help. This one hides behind pride. I don't need help. It sounds strong, stoic even, but real stoicism isn't isolation. It's interdependence. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in Rome, thanked his teachers in his meditations. He admitted he didn't know everything. He welcomed other perspectives. That's not weakness. That's strength, because it takes humility to admit you don't have all the answers. Intelligent men don't try to carry the whole world on their shoulders. They ask for help, not because they're broken, but because they're wise enough to know when they're at their limits. 8. It's too late for me. This one's subtle. It sounds reflective, almost wise, but it's not. It's a soft lie we tell ourselves to avoid trying. It's too late for me. Harry Bernstein published his first book at 96. The Stoics would have applauded that, not for success, but for the spirit. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could live life right now. Let that determine how you live. You're not too old, not too broken, not too late. You're just at a crossroads. And the road forward requires courage, not excuses. Intelligent men live forward. Always." 9. That's just how it is. This is the language of stagnation. That's just how it is. It's what people say when they've given up on change, when they've decided the world is fixed, and they're just a piece in it. But that's not the Stoic way. The Stoics believe in agency, in radical ownership over your perspective, even if you can't control the outcome. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's where freedom lives. In choice, not in circumstances, but in your response. The moment you stop saying, "That's just how it is," you start asking, "What can I do with what I've got?" And that changes everything. If you've ever said one or all of these things, you're not alone. I've been there too, often, but that's not weakness. That's the starting line. What makes a man intelligent isn't avoiding mistakes. It's noticing them, learning, choosing better. Here's the truth. Intelligent men aren't born different. They become different by watching their words, challenging their habits, and choosing a better response again and again. That's what the Stoics knew. That mastery of life doesn't start with conquering the world. It starts with conquering yourself. So if you caught yourself saying any of these 10 phrases, don't feel ashamed. Feel awake. You've just taken the first step towards something powerful. Awareness. Now the challenge is to act. Because intelligence isn't loud. It doesn't boast. It's the quiet voice that says, "I can do better. I will do better." Starting now. If this resonated with you, if it challenged you, grounded you, or gave you something to reflect on, go ahead and subscribe. This space is here to keep you sharp, centered, and moving forward with purpose. Until next time, stand tall, speak wisely, and live with strength. Farewell, my friend. Stay stoic.